Alright, this video is a charger testing video and a power supply testing video for, it's a Lyle field in Hawaii. Order 1935. He ordered a 308 Duo, a 24 volt, 1500 watt power supply. So here's his 308 Duo. I've had it for quite a while, for a few days now. Just finally got still enough to do an unboxing and checking everything out. So this is a charger, brand new in box. All chargers are brand new in box. I just had a customer recently just kind of go off on me like, you know, there's no way this charger is new. It has scratches and stuff on it. And, you know, I politely told them that the chargers are brand new. They're from Buddy RC. I doubt that they would ship out any, you know, used or refurbished items, especially if you paid for it new. It's the same thing with me. They would never ship me anything used or anything, but, you know, this is a 308 dual charger. And the problem that people tend to have when they get these chargers is there's a protective film on the screen. Like this right here, there's protective film, and if you scratch the corner, you can peel that screen off, and then it will be a pristine screen underneath. But and it's the same thing with here. There's scratches on the screen and everything, but it's a brand new charger. So if you peel that screen off, there's a protective film on the screen, and around the buttons here, there's a protective screen. So if you get a charger and it has a few light scratches and stuff on the screen, peel that film off. I normally leave it on. You know, mine is barely hanging on by a thread, but it has saved me from a lot of scratches. He has a power supply here. It's a 24 volt, 1500 watt power supply. Has the EC5 connector for the iCharger. It's been sprayed with a motor insulating varnish to where it'll prevent accidental shorts. On here, it's a really smooth, glossy finish. I really like what it does. Unfortunately, you can't do any other modifications after you spray that. So, but his power supply will be on the side here. You see the connection kind of out of frame right here, but this will plug into the charger. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that up now. The power supply should be off. And also just double checking, I'll make sure I'm in frame, you know, red to red, black to black, and it's the proper orientation and everything. So there's no way that this could get plugged in backwards or reverse polarity. So go ahead and plug that in, get nice firm connection there. Power supply will be out of frame, but the charger should remain in frame. I still got some things to do. Even though I'm testing these chargers and everything, I've still got some things to do, so I kind of need most of my desk space here. Just grabbing my EC5 cables for my batteries. Red to red, black to black. Alright, red to red, black to black. Plug in my balance taps here. And actually, I always like to test the balance cables. So he has a CD for the charger to hook up to the computer. Grab the balance cables here. Sorry about that, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's time for me to get up. I've been up since like 7:30. I'll go ahead and plug the balance cables into the charger. And then grab that balance board, because sometimes the balance board may be, you know, defective. Sometimes it's not like it's a regular thing, but Go ahead and test the balance board while I'm at it. Alright. I'm using two balance cable. One is an extension and one is a 2-to-1 that I'm using as an extension. The 2-to-1 will come into play a little bit later. But it's a 3S. I'm using 3S batteries to test the charger. Alright, so all the stuff is plugged in. Got the spare cables up here. And these also tend to have a lot of wear on them. Like, they're not used. It's just, I don't know why they're, scuffed up. But this charger's in pretty good shape, other than some, minor dust. But everything is good. There's a few light scratches on the screen. But again, if you just take your fingernail and peel the corner off, you will get down to the fresh plastic. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the power supply on, and that should turn the charger on. Alright, firmware 2.17 and 24.69 volts. Just going to double check the order form. Make sure you didn't order any special add-ons on his power supply, like a voltage boost. And he hasn't, so everything looks good here. Charger is on, it's working. Let's go ahead and, one of the things is this charger was bought on looks like 4/4/2016, so it's 4/8, so it's been 4 days, plus you got to account for shipping time and all of that. I think I've had the charger for like maybe 2 days, sitting in the box. But we have everything up is going. I'm going to go ahead and plug my batteries in. So let me go ahead and tilt up a little bit. Alright, 3.62, 3.63, 3.57. This is a discharge battery. Alright. And then, so we're going to plug the second battery in. Three 3.62, 3.65, 3.68. This one is discharged also, so we'll start this testing off with a charge cycle to get these batteries up and charged, and then we'll discharge them, and so that will complete the charge and discharge test for the charger. So let me go ahead and set this up. Do 30 amps on one side. This is a dual port 30 amp charger, so each side of the charger can only do 30 amps. Go ahead and set the cells for 3S. Normal balance. Start. Everything is set up on the second channel, so I just gotta start over here. Tilt it back down. And sorry that it's upside down. I mean, I'm just basically keeping the charger in frame. If we really needed to zoom in and focus on it to see the numbers, we could. We got 29.94 on one port, 9899, 30 amps, and the other side is ramping up to 30 amps as well. So we're good to go on this front. These batteries are good for 5C charge, so this is a little bit over 5C. So everything's perfectly safe here for the most part. Power supply is working, is pulling 32 amps from the power supply. Other than that, I'm gonna wait for this to get finished, and I'm gonna stop this video once it gets done finishing. I'm gonna go ahead and start it back up and then show a discharge cycle. So I will check back with you in a little bit. Alright, so we're done with the charge cycle here. We're going to go ahead and do a discharge test. So let me go ahead and do that. And this will test the internal discharger of the charger, making sure that it can handle discharging both channels at its maximum wattage and that there's no issues with the fan or anything. So I like to go ahead and set it on 15 amps. It will just max everything out. Go ahead and start channel 1 up and go over here and do the same for channel 2. All the settings should have transferred to the other channel. Go ahead and start that up. So we have both channels discharging. Let's see how many watts per channel. It looks to be doing about 120, 130 watts total for both channels, but I think each channel can run slightly higher by itself. So 65 per channel, so that's 130 watts total that the charger can discharge, and we're doing about 5.2 amps. So this is going to take about an hour to discharge. So again, I'll be back in an hour, and then once I get done with discharging both batteries, I'm going to take the ports and I'm going to bridge them together and do a parallel charge and then a parallel discharge. And then, I used to do a little bit more testing. I used to discharge from one channel to the other, but I'm not going to do that just to keep the video shorter. And I'm just charging and discharging and just making sure that everything works as it should, and that you got a 100% working charger. If I really had to go through all the settings of the charger, I could be here all day, but again, I'm gonna just do each channel independently and then each channel bridge together and call it done. But I'll be back in about an hour. Okay, I finished up the discharge cycle, and now I'm gonna do a parallel charge cycle. Both of these batteries are wired in parallel, both of the ports are bridged and everything, so I'm gonna go in here and change the setting to from asynchronous mode to synchronous mode, so I can put these ports in parallel so they'll charge together. And once I put these ports in parallel mode, the charger should be able to charge these batteries at about 50 amps. That's the maximum limit for parallel mode on this charger. Alright, set it on 50 amps. Gonna go ahead and start it up. And this should be rather quick. So this will last maybe about 10, 15 minutes tops. Alright, so it's doing 50 amps, 24, 25 amps on each port, pulling about 26 amps from the power supply. And so I'm going to let this finish up, and then I'm going to do a parallel discharge, and then we'll say that this charger is good to go, and I'll pack it up and get it ready for shipment. Okay, so it completed that charge cycle, put in 10.46 amp hours, 4.19 across the board, took about 19 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and do a parallel discharge. So parallel discharge, and I have it set to 15 amps, but it may not go that high. So it looks like we're doing about 10.4 amps. I'm gonna let this run a while. This is gonna be probably be about an hour discharge, and once I get done with this, um, I'm gonna say the charger is good and go ahead and do a final segment of video of me packing everything up and getting your order ready for shipment. Okay, so we got done with our discharge test here. Discharge 10.485 amp hours. So um, it did single port charging fine, and it did single port discharging fine. It did parallel port charging fine, and it did parallel port discharging fine. So I would say that this charger and power supply is good to go. Just give me 1 second, and I'm gonna just break everything down and pack everything up. So bear with me.